Today was quite a fun day in the kitchen because I discovered how to make semolina pasta, and it couldn't be any easier. It just consists of three ingredients: semolina, salt, and water, and that's all I needed to make a perfectly lovely pasta dough, which I then made into alphabet lasagna. So you can see here that once I poured the water into the rough grainy semolina, it started to absorb the water and then it became a really smooth dough by the end of it, and I was really surprised because if you make something like cornmeal into a dough, it's not going to come out like that. But this is the first time that I'm actually working with semolina. It's really inexpensive and makes a perfect dough for pasta. And semolina and water dough is mainly used in the southern parts of Italy. So you can see here I'm kneading the dough, and it's just this first batch was just so perfect. And look at that, it looks a bit like a mixture of Play-Doh and kinetic sand. So you need 1 part water and 2 parts semolina flour in weight, and I just put a pinch of salt in. That's 100 grams of water to 200 grams of semolina flour, and it was perfect. So I put it aside to rest for 30 minutes. Then I just started rolling it out, and it was really soft at first, but what I needed to do was just roll it and roll it some more. Fold it into thirds, which is called laminating it, and then roll and roll after resting for about 30 minutes. And by the end of it, I managed to work it into a really, really lovely pasta dough. You can see how supple and stretchy it is here, but here it is. I've cut out a small piece of it, and you will need to work with smaller amounts because it's gonna roll out to be really, really long. So you can see here it's getting longer, and I put a bit of flour on it, and then I roll it some more and some more, and it became really, really nice and long. So I just set it aside, and I'm going to use it for my lasagna. Now, what I did with some of it was take some alphabet cutters, and I cut out little alphabet shapes with the semolina and water pasta. And this was something really fun. I thought it was a really nice topping to have on top of the lasagna, though you could always do something like a chicken broth, soup, and have your own homemade alphabet lasagna with it. Alphabet pasta with it. Yeah, it could be in soup, it could be with pasta sauce, or it could be on top of a lasagna, anything you like really. So this is not very traditional, but very fun. Alright, so I tried another dough, which is 2 eggs, 100 grams of egg, exactly, and about 200 grams of semolina flour. Yes, I beat the eggs and I added some salt to the eggs, and then I added 200 grams of semolina flour. Now this one didn't come out as perfect as the first batch, so I needed to add some flour, and I added some double O, double zero farina flour, which is from Italy. It's very affordable and also makes really perfect pasta because it's so silky and so finely ground. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but I know to make good pasta you use good Italian flour. That's basically the rule. So you can see it was a little bit more sticky, so I needed to add some flour, which is fine because some semolina pasta dough recipes actually use half semolina flour, half water. So, with pasta dough, if it's a bit sticky, if it's a bit dry, you just add liquid or you add flour and you adjust it, and there's no right or wrong. It's just totally up to you. So I tried something fun, which is I added some butterfly pea flowers from my garden to the water that I was going to make my third batch of pasta dough with. And this is what I did. So these are totally fresh flowers right from my garden, and I soaked them in hot water, let the water cool, and then I added semolina flour to it. 80 grams of blue water and 160 grams of semolina flour. But it was a bit wet, so I needed to add a little bit of the Italian 00 flour to it, which is fine. So I just kneaded it up, and I really like the texture of it. When you pull it apart, it looks like kinetic sand, which I feel is so relaxing and so sensorial. And I rolled it out just like the first batch, but this time I made it into tagliatelle. And I didn't eat this today. It's in the fridge now. We're gonna have it another day. But this is what it looks like. I rolled it up in little like circle pieces and let it dry a little bit. Okay, so I made some pasta sauce. I'm not showing all of it here. I've just like browned some onions, add tomato sauce, add already browned ground beef and spice and some a green capsicum and some fresh herbs as well. And it's just your standard kind of bolognese lasagna sauce. Not very Italian, I guess, but you know, it's just something simple and straightforward. And then I started layering it with the fresh pasta, cutting the pieces of fresh pasta to fit into my casserole dish. So you just put pasta sauce, some cheese sauce maybe, and then more pasta and more sauce until I filled up the whole casserole pan. And the last layer, which I put on, was the pasta sauce. On top of that, I arranged all my alphabet pasta pieces. So that was really fun because I managed to fit everything in. So it's exactly 400 grams of semolina flour to 200 grams of liquid for the whole casserole of lasagna. And I put it in the oven to bake. Gotta keep an eye on it to make sure the letters don't burn, but it made perfect lasagna. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more and do subscribe.